Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Happy Thursday, everybody. If you've been here before, you probably know what I'm about to say, which is yet another week going by very quickly when you're in markets, especially when a week has been as kind of entertaining, eventful, and volatile as this one. I know we had a majority of kind of the volatility on Sunday night, Monday morning, and Monday afternoon. But I think, the market's just kind of still trying to pick a direction. We've had headlines in between. Altcoins, as we've been saying, have been yielding lots of trading opportunities back and forth. But rest assured, we are here to break it down all for you in real time. Welcome, guys. I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Max and soon likely Tucker and Jackus as well. They're just finishing up the call with, here's Jackus right now. Welcome to you as well, Jackus. But like I said, guys, we're going to do our best to break down everything that's going on in the market right now. Like I said, I think majors are kind of awaiting potentially that next move up or down. Altcoins have been giving lots of volatility, and we even got the launch of a new altcoin today that I'm sure we're going to want to talk about, which is Berachain. I think we mentioned that a little bit yesterday. But before we can do that, before we can go through some of our favorite tickers, some of your favorite tickers, I'm going to beg you to smash, slam, destroy that like button, whatever you need to do to run those likes up. We would be very, very appreciative. Of course, maybe even have some alpha tied to the like button as well. So keep hitting that for us. We are always very appreciative when you do that. And without you guys, the growth of this channel would not be possible. So thank you for hitting the like button. We hope that you continue to do so. But talking about the market, right? I feel like we've had a bunch of headlines this week, but the market has been unable to trend since, Sunday or Monday. Order books naturally repopulating after the huge wipeout that was. Markets awaiting to see, right, whether or not, things like ETH, SOL, BNB are experiencing high time frame market structure breaks. In the midst of all of this, Bitcoin continues to look strong, though. It's still at 97, 98K. Is this a lead lag relationship? I guess we'll find out. But I think that push-pull between Bitcoin and alts is obviously not going anywhere. Bitcoin takes a dump. Altcoins dump even heavier. Bitcoin pumps, and these altcoins mean revert like crazy. It's a very illiquid environment, but also I think it's the type of environment, as I've said, where there's lots of trading opportunities abound for pretty much anybody, whether you're a scalper, whether you're explicitly long only, whether you are short only. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking about the market here. Obviously, like I said, majors are still a little bit indecisive. Looking at my watch list today, it looks like we're seeing a little bit of altcoin bleed after we pumped an Asia session. So maybe a bit of a rejection. I think as long as that high from Monday continues to cap price, it makes sense to me that later this week we'll retest lower prices. But I think it's ultimately just dissecting microstructure right now. We have a lot of things going on, I think, around this chart through catalysts. Obviously, like I said, Berachain launched today. I know there are going to be a lot of eyes on that. What are we thinking with today's price action, guys? And how do we kind of envision the next few days going?
You want to take it, Max, first?
No, go ahead, Chef, please.
Well, first of all, we had a token launch of Berachain Network, which launched and was immediately at like 5 billion or something market cap FDV, which I think is crazy. It seems like they didn't learn anything, or maybe they have exactly that.
They knew exactly what they were doing, in my opinion. But
probably. It launched it had like a very quick run up, like in the first 30 minutes, where everyone was selling probably everything and just aping that for like, that's probably the attention span right now, where it goes like 30 minutes and then suddenly it's everywhere. Oh, there's this one thing that's, pumping. Let's let's move our money into it. So it launched and it was straight away rank 75 on CoinMarketCap, which I just find is crazy. And it's selling off right now, so we'll see how that goes. But that pretty much sums up the day to some degree. When it comes to ETH, yeah, I still am not finding the price bullish, and I think the trend has changed, as I said, and I think there is lower to go first. But I still think 2025 is going to be pretty good, but not before it gets slightly worse. I think we had a decent upside today, early in the day, but that upside got immediately rejected here with this move.
Yeah. Well, kind of as expected after especially a weekend nuke like we had, you kind of see the death of anything constructive, which is always a bummer because you have to sit there and just kind of diddle your thumbs and wait, which is not fun. But Tommy is correct in saying that there has been, if you're a little bit more active, or have studied how these things typically play out, there has been some decent opportunities to play altcoins, because after an event like this, whenever Bitcoin even just pulls back 200 points, altcoins die every single time, right? And then, it's kind of like this bouncing ball effect where eventually it stops doing that and you get to move the other way. But it is kind of a misconception that V recoveries are a real thing. It's like a unicorn. There's like once every 5 or 10 years, there's like a true V recovery. And that doesn't mean that the bottom isn't in or something like that. But usually after such a crazy event, it takes a little bit of time to kind of settle and build back, right? Even just for trader confidence, right? Hey, we nuked. There's Big Tuck. Hey, we nuked. Now we
Hey.
need to kind of chop around and range here or whatever. So seeing a little bit of selling this morning, but in my opinion, I was talking to our community about this this morning. Bitcoin still looks fine, which is the good news. But I think that anything in the middle of this multi-month, value area is just noise. Like there is zero signal on Bitcoin right here at all. And I think that the only signal is going to be looking for opportunities closer to the range low or value area low, or you start to see us constructively push up, flip 103, get above the monthly open. And then I think you're probably in the clear. Like if you get above, in my view, the monthly open and you start breaking levels to the upside, ideally take out this high, put in a higher low somewhere about, around the monthly open. Then I think you can kind of kiss this thing goodbye. But it's like until then, I think you kind of just have to be patient, right? If you are actively trading, look for scalp opportunities, right? Look to hammer some weak altcoins. But if you're just a spot holder, it probably makes sense to just kind of sit on your positions or sit on your stable coins if you have any, and look to kind of redeploy as Bitcoin pressures this range low, which I think probably comes at some point. I don't necessarily think it'll be like today. Might even be another weekend thing, might be next week, who knows? But I think you kind of just have to wait and let the dust settle, because that was a very big and scary nuke, and they typically don't resolve too quickly, right? So here's the thing I keep kind of coming back to is like this ETH CME gap is going to get filled. This is the biggest CME gap we've ever had on ETH. And this is kind of typically what you see is like you have the gap, you wick into it, you probably wick into it again, and then you end up kind of ranging, right? And then eventually, you fill it. And we'll probably do some. I don't think it's going to take this long, honestly. I really don't. But even if we did this, I think everyone would get annoyed, but they would be okay, right? Like, would this be the worst thing in the world? I mean, I wouldn't enjoy it, but it's like even something like this, I think most people would be all right with that. I think you kind of have to expect the possibility of something like this, because sometimes we come down and we fill the wick, and other times we don't, right? Like there's many instances I can point to where like we haven't filled the wick, and there's some where we have. So I think for now you kind of just say, hey, look, like we nuked. It's going to take a little bit of time. But for right now, the CME gap, like around 2,900, is going to be a sticky area until suddenly it's not. But I think it's just going to warrant a little bit of patience. And again, I don't know how long this is going to take. Maybe it's out here, or maybe, maybe it's literally like this. I have no idea, right? But I know from a probabilities perspective, whether this nuke was bullshit off of news that didn't even end up materializing or not, the traders are going to determine what happens next. And they know the probabilities of how these things typically shake out. And more times than not, you will revisit that low, or at least a partial fill, right? So even if this doesn't happen, I feel like you kind of have to plan for, maybe this region at a minimum, which is okay. Like you could prospect bullishly, like here's your low, little resistance region, try to carve out a higher low right here. Sometimes the wick doesn't fill, right? Sometimes the wick doesn't fill. So, I mean, a prime example of that is when Bitcoin had this horrible nuke over here. I always look back to this example. Bitcoin had this horrific nuke over here in August, and everybody wanted this wick low to fill, and it just didn't, right? You got pretty close to it, right? But sometimes you don't completely fill the liquidation wicks, and I think you need to kind of be aware of that as well. So, I mean, you could just kind of flatline and chop and whatever. I don't need that. Here, just go like this. And you could just kind of be forming some range, and we'll see how long it takes, right? So I think just kind of be open to the possibility of revisiting the lows or pressuring them. But I also think you need to be quick to pivot where, like, if you just don't do it, that's okay too. So those are just kind of my initial thoughts.
I had few reactions, but I didn't want to stop you cooking. So first of all, maybe if you can put that range of BTC there, Max, that you had, I absolutely agree that no, the current one that you had with the volume node. I think that was a good one. Absolutely agree that like inside of it, obviously, you can trade it. I think there are some good baits right now. But like when it comes to overall market again, we need to differentiate market and BTC again. But when it comes to directionality of BTC, we are in the value area in the middle. It's really not going to tell you much. So you're interested at the extremes and you're interested at the reclaims. So I think this is a good take, obviously. There was one more when it comes to ETH. I wanted to ask, maybe if you can put ETH back on once you're done with your drawings. It's your beautiful Picasso stuff, and you mentioned, because we literally had maybe if you can zoom out a little more to the prior range we had at on like the daily or something with the one we had in August. And my question is, because like I'm looking at this and we had a identical drop as we had in August. It's sort of undeniable with pretty similar bounce as well. My question is, do you really think we can like range here the same way and then go up the same way again? Because I'm feeling like if this was truly the giant shakeout, I feel we should have V-shaped recovered from here. And I agree on V-shaped recovery. They usually just tend to happen when QE comes in. And I think if QE were to come in, I think that would change everything. But until it does, Jesus.
Well, here's the thing, like, and I know this is kind of a simple observation, but this was the region in which we rejected from right after we bounced. It was the underside retest of this range, right?
Yeah.
This one took us a lot longer to tag. It took us, 3 weeks almost. And this one took us 1 day, less
Yeah.
12 hours, right? So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Like, they're definitely different, right? They're definitely much different.
Well, yeah, it's different in terms of like time it took for this bounce. That's definitely sure. But like I'm speaking overall, where it's coming from, like the 4K, the prior bounce, and then the sell-off, and so and the magnitude and the levels, and then the bounce in terms of that. So I'm like thinking, I suppose I'm having personally a problem with seeing the exact same range forming here and then going up again. Because I feel that that was what was like what happened post August was enough for that to be bottomed. And I feel if this was a giant manipulation, I think we should be V-shape recovering.
Do you think a V-shaped recovery is off the table from here already? I know we're pulling back locally.
With every market drop, it's more of the with every passing hour, it's more of the table. I think the V-shaped recovery need to happen rather quickly than be extended over some time.
I think I'm very interested in seeing how we trade into the wick, right? Like, is it going to be kind of a slow bleed to backfill the wick, or is it going to be like that wick is not actually support? We knife right through it. And if that's the case, obviously, I think we're going to make new lows on ETH, or at least like, lows below that current wick. But I think as well, what you want to look for a recovery is you want to see volatility die. This is a concept that we've talked about, right? Like the trading conditions right now are amazing. You want to take advantage of them because eventually when they're over, you're going to see volatility die and that opportunities. It's not going to be there. The conditions are not going to be very favorable at all. But what we have seen in the past is after wipes that have set the low on majors, we usually see a complete death in volatility. I don't know that we're there yet. Maybe we're just not there yet from a time standpoint. Maybe we're not there from a price standpoint. But I mean, Max, you highlighted that range Bitcoin entered in 2023 in the fall. One of the most distinct things I remember about that range was how dead volatility was. And it set the floor. Ultimately, almost always that sort of price action will set the floor before higher prices. So that's what I want to see. I want to see volatility die. If we do trade back deep into the wick, I don't want it to be super aggressive. It needs to be more of a bleed that can form like that more constructive double bottom type of price action. Otherwise, I think I'm leaning more towards downside from here.
Well, there's no denying the significance of this level right here. So this is where I have a tough time imagining, like, look, even if we did take out the wick, I have a tough time imagining that we would like re-enter this range. I think ETH is literally fucking dead if that happens. Like I genuinely think like if you came back to fill this wick in, that has to be like a sweep of the low double bottom. Like there's no circumstances in which you can like enter here besides a liquidation and then move it. Like you could wick down, right? But I'm saying like you can't like be accepted back down into here. I don't know how you recover from that.
I disagree here, Max, because I think it's still part, as much as I don't like it, of course, right? Like I want it to go up, but I think it can go down there still given the 4-year long range that we are in. If that was not the case, I would agree with you. But given that context, I still think there is a good case for it.
I think if we trade into, sorry, Jack, I think if we trade into the green box, then we start paying more attention to the monthly close rather than, something like the dailies and the 4 hour.
Yeah, the daily definitely isn't important on that. on that context.
Do we think that this diagonal matters at all?
Yes, it does. It absolutely does.
Norman
That's
Rockwell,
big.
it matters.
Yes, it matters. I love that. I didn't know that it had actually tagged that until you talked about it this morning. And then Barry, one of our guys on our Discord, brought this up. The 200-week SMA, I think, is the same thing. It's basically the same thing as that trend line. Every time you hit that, it's basically bottomed. But yeah, I think that matters in a big way. Like, I still think we're gonna set a higher low. Like,
What about that? Because again, I think this is a good one. I'm just arguing. Look at the upper boundary there, right? We see that we had a breakout in December twice. We failed that, then we broke below again, and we retested it from beneath.
I know, and then we nuked to 2100.
Yeah, but why wouldn't it now do the deviation to the downside? Because usually
it kind of did.
Well, that's okay. Whatever.
A little bit.
You're saying you think you can close a few bodies below and then get above?
Yeah. Because usually when you get ranges, you get the deviation on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like above, and then you don't do it below. I'm just like saying, listen, obviously, I want ETH to go up like literally right now.
Yeah.
Reclaim the levels and fucking send.
Mhm.
I'm just not seeing that, but I want that. I just want to
how
make
about
that
if we
clear.
even looked at it like this?
But
as just like this is our range, right? We had a deviation of the range high. Wick high, wick low. In theory, this is a valid range too.
it is. There, you know, we joked about it lots of the time. We are within a range that's within a range that's within a range.
It is.
Rangeception. Eventually, this compression. I mean, wouldn't it kind of make sense though? Everybody like has drawn this massive triangle on ETH. We kind of know how these tend to go, right? You deviate to one side and then you mega rip out of the other. At least on a lower time frame, I feel like that's kind of how like these pennants or these triangles are treated.
Max, can you put in the range you had there again for this one for the past year? From the like March high, yeah. I suppose I would again. I need to see some price level reclaims. If this was the largest manipulations in history, then I need to see at least like EQ reclaim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because right now it's a speculation that it was the largest manipulation. And I suppose, again, I would need to, if that was the case, why would you spend time down here? Like if you manipulated it to make people sell and you wanted to buy there, well, there is no reason to stay here. You want a V-shape recover, right? Like you did in COVID, pretty much. And I hope that happens, by the way. I do hope that happens. Like straight up.
I mean,
by the way, there was a comment before, I think, from Luis, and he was saying that the market deviated from prayer cycles the moment Pump Fund was launched.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And I have to absolutely agree. Like I'm not. I think it's the case. I think it's the causation, but it's a speculation too. But it's clear that the market deviated from prior cycles, and it was right around the time.
Well, I think the way I kind of view the pump fund bubble that has occurred over the last, what is it at this point, like 6 to 9 months. I mean, it's basically just been a larger version of the NFT bubble. Like, I mean, we talk about things that were ultimately, the biggest winners of the NFT bubble were mostly scammers, people who were looking to extract value out of the crypto ecosystem and not put it back into to other assets. And we're seeing that right now with Pump Fun. So, I mean, it's had a similar effect on SOL price as it did with ETH. ETH made a marginally higher high in Q4 of 2021. And SOL made a marginally higher high in, obviously over the last few weeks. I'm not saying I think ETH 2021 is at the same place as SOL right now, but to the extent that it kind of muted the upside of that major while simultaneously kind of preventing capital from rotating into other altcoins and creating kind of that same level of altcoin mania that we saw in spring of 2021. They are very similar. So I mean, we saw the long-term effects that has had on ETH. I wonder what this means for SOL going forward, but I'm going to continue to say the most bullish thing that could happen to SOL at this point is to just ban Pump Fun or have it. I mean, SOL can't do that, but I'm sure government entities probably will eventually. It's as I've always said, Pump Fun is literally just a vampire attack on SOL. It doesn't really need to exist. And it's kind of serving the purpose that SOL exists to do, but it's extracting SOL and selling it. It doesn't even have a token, so you don't even like. I really think Pump Fun is one of the worst things that has happened to crypto, to be quite honest. But I don't want to get on a whole soapbox about it.
It was terrible, bro.
It is.
I don't remember who said this. I was scrolling the timeline yesterday, maybe 2 days ago. I don't remember. And they're a great trader. I remember being like, this is a legitimate take from a respected individual. I don't remember who it was. It's driving me crazy. They basically said, like, we didn't have alt season. We had scratch off season or something like that. We had like lottery ticket season. What we had was a bunch of scammers and grifters creating protocols and tokens. And I mean, it was truly a scenario where like 99 out of 100 people were losing all the Pump Fun style launches and whatever. But to say that like we had alt season, it was Pump Fun, like, no, we didn't. We had like this is like a weird chapter in the in the crypto history books, of very like predatory token generation. And I don't know. I agree. Like, I really don't think that we had alt season. Nothing even close to it. Like, by no metric that I watched did we have anything close to alt season. That's doesn't mean we're gonna go up tomorrow because I said that. It just means like we had a very aggressive flush, and the market has a way of I don't know, expunging and getting rid of bad actors. It's like it has a way of healing itself through pain. And I think, I mean, arguably that's what we saw here, right? And maybe it's not done yet. But I don't know. Kind of going back to like my thought of we can't really lose this range. I view it the same way as I viewed this, right? Like if Bitcoin had lost this level back in September, October of 2023, like I don't think it would have been okay. I really don't think ETH can lose this level. I think ETH can come back to the range low, but I really don't think that like you can just come down here and everything's fine. I don't think that at all. But maybe I'm wrong on that. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine losing this blue box and everything being okay after. Personally,
I feel like Pump Fun kind of changed the nature of the game, right? From even if you don't view it as explicitly bad, it went from like on-chain went from a game of poker or blackjack where you can have some level of strategy to win, to increase your odds, to slots where you're literally just completely gambling on an outcome that you have no control over.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, I think you guys said it well. I think the market is cleaning itself right now from those actors. And I think what is going to arise from this is really good, well-established projects where the capital will once again, from all the dilution, start coming back into the solid ones, which the US is preparing the space for basically right now with the regulation and all of that. So I think it's going to be good. I wouldn't view it as grim as some people view it. I wouldn't view it as, hey, this will take years to recover. Usually when people feel that way, the recovery is not that far away, which still doesn't mean it's immediate. And I would view it as a big opportunity to reset in a good way again. And I do agree also that that's the thing, right? We had lots of alts pumping, but we didn't get an alt season, which is going to come to the definition term. And I would tend to view the definition term in which most alts outperform BTC, and we did not see that. We had few alts that occasionally run, but it was more like capital rotation rather than new money entering all of those projects.
I think we did get new money that entered this cycle, right? I mean, I think
Few.
it wasn't as much as 2021, but the idea that we didn't have new capital enter, I don't know if I completely agree with that. We just saw it obviously dispersed
we had
way more projects.
Just to clarify that, obviously we had new money, right, entering in, not in the magnitude of the way where we saw it in 2017 or 2021, where all alts pretty much were outperforming BTC, and we had few, and those outperform it by a little, this one.
It was much more dispersed, predatory, on-chain cycle this time around. I think some
dilution.
of that to do with, I mean, I think the people who were gambling probably had less money this cycle than they did in 2021 from like a disposable standpoint, which makes sense, right? I mean, we had the COVID stimulus checks in 2020 and 2021, and maybe that is kind of an underlying theme for something that will create a meme coin super cycle, talking about something like UBI in the future. But I mean, like the dispersion ended up kind of being, I don't think it's like the cycle's alt season. Let me just say that. But I do think, at least like a pit stop, locally speaking, that's where the money, the capital went.
Oh no.
Oh, there he goes.
There we go. Right.
It is what it is.
You can go again.
Pump fun overlords don't want me talking negatively about their about their dumping of Sol, but I think it's just I really think what we've seen with Pump Fun is probably more so a warning shot or a precursor of things that are likely to occur over the next few years, which is that people are going to just increasingly hyper gamble their way to, or try at least to hyper gamble their way to generational wealth. The theme of the cycle for me is probably that.
Yeah, I think speculation is always going to be there. Speculation it's part of our biology. Is what gambling is.
There will never be another financial bubble ever, Jackets. You lost the chance to make it.
But yeah, the space must graduate towards quality. Yes. And revenue generating projects rather than pure speculation. But I do agree. I think the moment QE comes, I think that changes the landscape, and we will be back quicker than it is over.
Well, it seems like we're going to start to get some QE possibly as soon as March, given that the reverse repo is almost officially drained. I truthfully don't know that I could explain the implications of what it means that the reverse repo is basically at zero, but maybe somebody on the panel can.
Tucker's your guy.
Tucker's your guy.
Tucker's cooking something. What do you think about the reverse repo being drained and kind of the impact that that's going to have on the March meeting for the Fed?
I mean, I think that they're gonna have to refill it, right? Like, pull up RRP, Max? Yeah. What's it at? 78 billion. Yeah, they're gonna have to refill that thing soon. I mean, if Basent is anything like Janet Yellen, then it should be soon before there's a positive liquidity event for this chart. But
Wait, but refilling is pretty bearish, isn't it? Refilling that is pretty bearish, no?
Refilling it is bearish.
I think so.
Well, they can either refill it from selling equities and bonds or from printing money.
Yeah, it depends how they do it. But you want that thing filled so they can drain it again, basically. So I don't know. I think the only way you're getting an into QT in March is if equities sell hard, right? So, good and the bad to that.
They don't look like they want to sell hard right now, I'll be honest.
No, they don't at all. They don't at all. They look fine.
I do not believe this equities pump one bit. I gotta be honest.
Yeah. I still have a tough time not seeing Nvidia go lower first. But I do agree that the broader index is not looking like that bad. And that's kind of what I said. I'm not seeing like the big bear market, lots of bears kept telling me since 2022 is going to come, that we will see like, I don't know, like minus 70% drops on SPX. I'm not seeing that. But I do see some sort of sideways here for the next period.
I don't know. The VIX looks like it's got to kind of hold up here. Otherwise, it looks like it's going to break back down. I'll be honest. I mean, look at that thing. Hello.
No, the VIX is very like tricky here because it doesn't look the best. We've been pumping on equities all week, but the skew of the VIX is not what it was last year. It shouldn't be continuing in a downtrend in the same way that it has for the last year and a half. It's going to continue to progressively rise until the middle of this year. So, yeah, I think either the VIX or someone's lying here, right? Is it crypto or is it equities? I tend to think that risk gets sold first.
What do we think of the 10-year yield here, guys? I know we discussed this a lot lately. I'm still a little bit skeptical of the move down so far.
My only thought with that is, what would cause the 10-year to go higher?
Yeah, there is really not much.
Like from a chart standpoint, I see the one last push above those highs, and then just a big drop. But I don't know what would create the move up. It's in the charts. I guess we'll find out.
One of big arguments is that there is lack of buyers for TLT still, because lots of big long-term players there are still expecting TLT to go lower over the long run. So most of their buys is just local ones, but they are not like looking to get a 10-year long exposure or something.
I don't think something like this would surprise me too much.
I mean, if it sends DXY lower,
like this.
Yeah, you think you get a pop first?
I mean, you could. You did it last time before you really sold off. Kind of break down, same structure, retest of kind of like the final supply up here, and then it just gave out, right?
Mhm.
It wouldn't be too crazy. I think the top should be in on this. I don't know what would send this higher, man. I don't know what would send this higher.
Well, didn't Trump explicitly say he was going to try to bring this down?
He said he was
should.
going to basically nuke the dollar. That's what he was saying.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I still think TLT is going to make another low. I know they're not necessarily the same, but
Well, not the same, but very similar.
yeah. Sweep that low or double top or double bottom rather on this chart. And yeah, I think then the low is in on TLT personally. But
I mean,
I'm not really in the camp that yields are going to be climbing higher throughout the decade. I know that can probably be disputed though.
if there was ever a spot for this thing to bounce, it really would be right here, though. Like, I don't know. I'm not interested. I'm just like, something has to give on it at some point.
I think it's doing that thing that charts will do where it gives you the 3 drive into a significant level, and then it's going to sweep the 3 drive and finally reverse.
So like down and oops, something like this, and then we finally go.
Then I might become a treasury bond maxi.
Yeah, if you get 80 on TLT, that's tough to pass.
I'll be buying the US debt with Paolo at that point.
Mhm.
Scanning the market.
Yeah.
Is there any alts
One thing.
you want to talk about?
Sorry.
Any alts you want to talk about? I'll let you finish, Jack.
I was just, with the regard of DXY and so forth, I was also checking the Euro USD pair because the most correlation DXY has is with. Oh wait, didn't. Oh, I cannot share.
That
I
they
cannot.
nuked. I can't
Yeah.
believe they did BNB like this, man. That is
Sickening.
horrible.
I was really hoping that long would shape up.
Oh, it was so close, man.
I need to restart browser or something. It doesn't let me share the screen for some reason. One sec.
Oh,
He'll be back.
the pump fund overlords took him out too. No, BNB's got work to do.
Yeah,
But I mean, BNB XRP very similar charts right now.
you think? Where's XRP? Let me see.
XRP is like BNB, but it wicked way deeper within the structure.
Jack, is you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I saw
Okay.
that you guys are going to show some XRP BNB chart or something. Is that happening or no?
No, I was just pointing out BNB looks a lot like XRP structurally. XRP just wicked way deeper.
Oh, it works nice. So I was checking the DXY, Euro USD, because it has a high correlation with DXY, as it makes like 56% of the index. One thing, I still think that we should be at like this very hard time frame, support. But locally, I'm still looking at this and thinking like we are currently below this pretty decent support. And I could see the Euro USD coming to this level still, which is not that far, but it could keep us here for a little longer. And I think we could get some significant bounce finally from Euro. So Euro USD to the upside is obviously DXY to the downside. And I was also checking this. I think you guys will find this interesting. Is I was checking Euro USD versus ETH, I think, or BTC. And it's funny enough how well it corresponds, because each time there was I think it was BTC maybe, but let's do both. And each time there was a significant upside on Euro USD, there was also upside for cryptos.
I forgot about this correlation, the euro dollar with Bitcoin.
So like right here, you see the big sell-off come in Euro USD pair, and that's basically the biggest portion of this bear market in 2014. And right the moment Euro USD bottoms, you see BTC start to pick up, and then the real alt season comes in. Obviously, you cannot see that on BTC as it was steadily going up, but then the big alt season comes in. The moment when Euro USD is bottomed here and goes for this upside, and that's when you get like real alt season. Then the next time is right after COVID. Again, these upsides were pretty muted, and then the next one is really right here. And I think if we were to get, even if we were to get this, it would basically bring that ETH upside. So I think monitoring the Euro USD pair could actually be very much telling for us to start moving up pretty big time.
Jackus, why do you think that's the case, that these are so correlated together?
Well, because Euro USD again is I think the reasoning is that it's weaker dollar, and weaker dollar is generally good for the markets. Weaker dollar is it means economic activity, it means lower borrowing cost, it means cheaper dollars, and generally the economy, as it starts moving, there is more jobs being created, there is more money, and then there is more money to spend. It's my assumption. I cannot tell this like I cannot tell this with a guarantee, but I don't think anybody can, right? But at the end of the day, what we can spot is a definite correlation between these, in which you can clearly see the moment Euro USD was stopped here in 2017-18. That was literally the bear market, and then it's sort of like, crypto sort of tries to fight. The most of the selling is done, but it's not really until COVID when it was really bottomed, and then we get the upside. So I think with that premise, understanding this, if we can well spot the bottom on Euro USD, which I think could be coming in from this level, then I think that could tell us really well what is about to come, and why I do not recommend people giving up. But at the same time, I think a little bit more is there for it. I don't know. This is just my observation I've done lately, but you can let me know what you think of it.
No, I like it. It's been a while since I've looked at like the euro for alpha. I don't know why that's the case though, because it's like you said, it is usually very correlated to Bitcoin and crypto upside ultimately when the euro is moving up. It's kind of like the risk pair per se in Forex. I used to chart these things a lot more closely. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was like the Australian dollar is also a signal for risk. But no, I agree with the analysis.
Australian dollar USD, is that the one?
So. Why does that look like the others chart?
Does it?
Kind of.
Yeah, it does. Damn.
But on a shorter time frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of. Not actually that much different, to be honest, even on the same time frame. That's funny.
Yeah, that does look similar.
It does look similar, but it's not the same.
Not quite the same.
But I get what you mean.
Put on DXY and flip it.
Basically, just need the dollar milkshake bros to not be correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dollar milkshake is not good.
Did you guys see who I changed my virtual background to yet? I was waiting for somebody to point it out.
It's yeah. Just noticed.
Did you see
Let's
what I
go.
posted in the Discord earlier today, Jackus?
I'm not sure. In your channel or where?
Yeah, there's some speculation that Justin's son lost his ETH.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that. That would be interesting.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Are we doing voice?
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
doing
and
good?
we have another problem, guys.
Oh, what? Oh no. If there's only 100 likes, we might need to end the show, actually. Okay, there's almost 200 likes. If it was like 100, I would have a mini heart attack, but
Spaceman just wanted soybean chart. I get it. We didn't do it for a while.
It's been like 2 weeks since we put the soybean chart up.
It's been a while, that's true.
This market is beyond fried. This market is beyond fried. There's no words to describe it.
Well said.
It definitely feels like we're coming down from just like repeated hits of max dopamine right now.
Yeah, this is like the come down after the party. Like everyone's sort of like there's a few people still dancing, but everyone knows it's over.
Hungover.
I just don't. I don't even know any coin that's good. Apart, I mean, hype's probably the only one, and even that's dying.
Haven't you heard about Bera Network?
Yeah, I bridged to Berachain and tried to buy a coin about 50 times, and it didn't work. So I have written it off as a scam. I mean, I was always going to tweet FUD because I didn't get any airdrop. So unfortunately, it's probably vaporware. Unfortunately.
I didn't get any allocation either. I agree, it's a scam.
Yeah. It's much like I was a big fan of Hyperliquid until I distributed my responsibilities, and now I don't really need it to succeed. So, yeah. I don't. Can you pull up? Can someone pull up a chart? Can someone pull up? Can someone pull up the fart coin chart? Because it is one of the funniest charts I've ever seen in my life. Honest to God, it is genuinely one of the worst charts.
I'm amazed that people still like. There are people that are probably going to round trip the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the monthly view, is it?
Yeah. I was like, why isn't it loading?
Yeah. I mean, that's not even a Christmas tree. That's like a mountain range that's being finished off there.
If you are going to look at lots of coins right now, like
Oh
each
God,
one's-
this is my favorite thing to do. Jackets, I'm here. I'm here for these. Oh fucking hell, that was so bad.
literally no reaction. It's just Christmas tree. It's just Burj Khalifa.
It sucks because I'm really controversial, but the tech of AI16Z is actually very impressive. But obviously, it just doesn't really need a token attached to it. So yeah, that's not great.
Isn't AI16Z the thing that just like responds to people?
It's very impressive if you actually technologically wise. It's actually very impressive, and it's
That doesn't answer the question though, Chimp. Is just like a reply?
Yes, all right, Tommy. Yes, it is. It is. That is what it is.
Can you pull up Bob token for me, Jackus?
What is Bob?
That's the
remember
OG
Bob?
one.
This is
and they shut it down, didn't they?
very famous crypto pattern. It's called Christmas tree.
Tia, brother. Tia did that.
Popcat's doing it,
Sorry, did you say Popcat or Bob?
I said Bob, but Popcat is doing the exact same thing. No, Bob. I bring up Bob because Bob was literally the first X reply guy meme coin, and it got banned from X.
And it's gone.
0. No, might be on.
I'm sure it was ETH, wasn't it? It was Bob Weath.
Maxine might have delisted it though. That's how down bad it is.
Oh shit! Is it?
Oh
Is it the one?
It was from 2023.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
so that first it did the Christmas tree just like all these AI coins.
Yeah, not great. I just thought the tech was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not saying it deserved a high valuation. I'm not arguing that. I just think it's a pretty good project. Also, the creators are fucking knob as well. Shaw is such a worker, honestly.
Crazy. Popcat.
Oh, Popcat's just sad for a
It
long
is
time.
sad.
I still don't know what a popcat is.
No one does.
It's a cat of the pops.
I don't understand.
Oh, I get it.
Tech.
The cat pops.
The cat pops and deflated by the looks of things.
I saw a tweet from somebody yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, I've been buying Popcat the whole way down the last few weeks. It's only a matter of time."
He's right. He's right. He's so right.
Man.
He's so right. I mean, that's honestly though the beautiful thing in crypto is you can quite often just be bailed out for being wrong. So, who knows? There might be a Popcat revival.
There won't be.
There's definitely not going to be. Yeah, but Bowden was always shit. Like Bowden was always a fucking terrible coin, and people gaslit themselves into thinking it was good. I got told I wouldn't. Actually, I've already told that on here so many times. I'm not going to bother. Fuck you for shilling Bowden if anyone did that. Sorry, that's a bad coin.
There was another. Your real account is Chimp Zoo, right? Because there's another famous chimp that's very into Bowden. I'm starting to connect the dots.
No. Not true.
Listen, guys, you're a fucking Popcat, but we just swept liquidity into an OB, and it's a insta sent to new all-time highs from here. This is called reverse Christmas tree.
To be honest, the Sol thesis has become very muddied, and I don't really know what. I can't really think of any catalysts now. So yeah, I feel like a lot of the eco coins are kind of cooked. They'll go down with the ship, unfortunately.
Well, Pauly said it best. Not Pepe Pauly, but Pool to Pauly said it best. Like last spring, that Sol was hitting basically peak mind share, which is why Sol Bitcoin still hasn't violated those highs since the spring. Ironically, Pump Fun was kind of the top for mind share for Sol against BTC and performance, for reasons that we've already discussed.
Yeah, I think Pump Fun was actually good for the space, so I disagree with your points earlier. So I stand by that. That's an opinion I'll die by.
Oh, chimp.
That's a hot
Just
take.
wasn't even
Jim.
that bad. The
Yeah.
reason why we didn't get an alt season is because there's not enough external fucking capital coming in because no one believes in anything anymore. There's nothing to do with Pump Fun. Pump Fun was great.
I do
But
agree with
they told me believe in something.
I just don't think Pump Fun's the main reason why it's been a shit alt season. Like, there's just no one believes in the tech. Like, people were funding. What was that one? 2021. They were funding that bloody step to earn protocol. You don't get shit like that
Step in.
because everyone knows it's vapor.
Step
Yeah,
in.
exactly. Like, no
That's
one
a good
cares
point.
anymore about it. The only external capital coming in is to Bitcoin. Like, that is it. Like, every other story is so, like, yeah, who even knows?
the most ironic outcome would be if at some point in 2025, maybe it's 2026, but over the next like year or so, people believe in the tech again because of Ethereum. I actually think there's a real chance. I know. I said
Imagine.
like there's no way that's going to happen, but I kind of feel like that might happen at some point here down the line, just because of how slanted we've gotten. Because people, it's like people believe in something, but they don't believe in crypto. They believe that their bags will do multiples when crypto goes up. We need to make people believe in like what we're doing here. Which was to build. I know it's corny. Nobody wants to talk about it, but permissionless systems, an anti-fragile system, and it's not really that right now, right? I think the only way to do that is through ETH, resurrecting ETH and ETH DeFi, but that's a little bit. I don't really think that's going to happen out of like a V recovery from ETH right now.
But you guys don't know that you will see Tommy.eth.
You might. I actually
Wow.
bought an ENS this week.
Yes, he did.
I did.
It's he's actually, I'll tell you, he's had this ENS for a while. It's a secret, but he's dimethyltryptamine.eth. So just look that up. That's Tommy's wallet. No one knows it's him.
No, I wish that was my wallet.
Dimethyltryptamine.eth. That's Tommy's
But
wallet. Trust me.
What's gonna make people believe in the tech again, other than just like saying that? Like,
I really think it's ETH. Like,
yeah, I know, but like what on ETH?
Yeah,
What
ETH
on
doing what? Like going up?
tokenization of assets. I think what's eventually
real
Yeah.
world assets.
Tokenization.
like yesterday, the headline that we got was I would argue bigger than anything that that Trump has done over the last like 1 to 2 weeks in regards to we basically had collateral requirements for banks get lowered so that they can play around with digital assets. What I think is going to end up happening is you're going to get like this mix between collateral between TradFi and crypto, as if that barrier were not there. It's going to be a huge problem when it blows up, but I think it's going to enable.
That's why you want it. You just want to hit the short at the end, don't you? That's why you want it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, always, but
Always.
no, I think it really kind of opens the door for like the blending of DeFi and centralized finance down the road.
How do we make money off of like tokenized assets? Like, it sounds so boring.
I don't know. I think it could be interesting, right? Like, imagine you're trading a tokenized, I don't know, like a car on the blockchain.
So this would be my dream scenario for like tokenization of real world assets.
Yeah.
If I could buy like shares of a multifamily apartment building and make my real estate investment liquid, that would be like the most elite function of the blockchain that I could ever imagine. Because the big issue with real estate is that it's difficult to access your liquidity. The only way to do it efficiently is just have a good relationship with a bank. And you go to them, they appraise the building, we'll loan you 70% of the appraised value at this percent, amortized over 30 years or whatever the hell. But it's slow and it's expensive and it's tedious. And if I want to sell the property, it's going to cost me between like 2 and 6% of the value of the building. But if you could basically tokenize real estate investments, talk about an improved product, right? That is a really cool use case. Or even like a single family home, right? Like I could buy a home, right? Anything, right? I like Tommy's idea too of, anything that we use, like buying a car. Doesn't matter, man. Like anything, right? It'd be really cool.
It just really cuts off lots of the lots of the fucking time you have to spend with the paperwork and everything, and that's more efficient. You'll save up on lots of wages, by not paying lots of those government workers. I mean, yeah, obviously that's a narrative we discussed for a long while. The question is when it's coming.
Yeah, probably not for a while.
I could see it in like I think it's kind of part of my extended cycle thesis that ETH is going to have this real demand. I feel like these two things are going to be correlated. And we've speculated on this show in the past that eventually this cycle will probably get large enough that Saylor's kind of already showing you how TradFi and crypto are eventually going to be kind of interwoven, and eventually it will create a lot of systemic risk for TradFi, even in kind of our little bubble that exists in crypto. I really think that our roots are going to expand into a lot more centralized finance vehicles here over the next few years.
And by the way, that's the best thing for Saylor. He needs that 100%. He needs the centralization of crypto, Bitcoin specifically. But even talking about ETH, ETH and Bitcoin have always kind of had separate cycles within one. Like ETH doesn't really have its cycle until
That's the
Bitcoin is
spirit.
basically already topped. So just something to consider too about like the sentiment on ETH right now. One, eventually it's going to bid, right? I mean, it's just taking forever, which is crazy, but here we are. But ETH is going to, I think, kind of have a cycle of its own. It's going to pull an XRP type of move. It's going to pull a Bitcoin, from the ETF type of move, right? But it's probably just going to be later in the cycle at this point. Like Bitcoin is going to have to finish its cycle, and then ETH, I don't know. We'll see what here's the thing. We've talked about this on the show too. The best tech is number go up. Like if ETH went to 5K, suddenly everyone would be in love with the tech again, Just saying.
So you could, out of just a theory, you could tokenize your cat maybe, or something like that. Is that something you could do? Or?
Hypothetically speaking, yes.
Okay, right. No one would do that though. That's a really odd thing that you do. But yeah.
We do have two super chats that I want to make sure that we highlight. Shout out to you, Radiant, for hold on, I want to thank you, Radiant. And we also have a question. Against the end of a 4-year cycle as it pertains to Bitcoin and alts, also does on-chain activity die down if we range for a couple of months? I've been very outspoken lately about the possibility that ETH could just be running back Bitcoin's echo bubble, and it's taking a longer period of time, which makes sense because it's not, aided by the stimulus in the same way that Bitcoin was in 2020. I think that's the most optimistic case. I don't really think markets are about to enter a multi-year bear market. I really don't. Even if we trade lower prices, I view it more so as a mid-cycle correction that we're seeing on beta. Just again, basing this on the idea that ETH structurally looks like it's playing out Bitcoin's echo bubble, but I would say on like 1.5x speed. So 4-year cycle, I think is probably more akin to like 6 or 7. If this theory is valid, but obviously we'll continue to see how price action plays out over the next few months. I think as far as on-chain goes, right? I mean, obviously there would be a huge liquidity drain if prices were to go lower. As you're seeing all of this liquidity get siphoned out of the highest risk assets on chain. But I do think eventually it returns to kind of that native denomination currency of whatever chain you're using. It might take a little bit, but I do think in range, people would find things to do on chain. I think it might be different, right? Like it might not be meme coins. I'm sure that will still exist. I actually have kind of speculated privately with a few people, NFTs or not every NFT. I don't think there's going to be a huge NFT bubble, but
Bored Apes coming back.
In theory, like if you're asking yourself, say like all of these meme coins and these altcoins are struggling to catch a pump, what is the best storage of value on ETH become at that point in time? Well, probably like 1 or 2 different NFT collections that actually have a bid, and then probably ETH itself. And so I think those 2 sort of assets would benefit the most from like a prolonged period of range. But yeah,
I think people believe in the tech again when the government tells them it's time to believe again.
I feel like they've already been doing that. That's the problem.
2 + 2 = fish.
No, dolphin.
Dolphin. Okay.
I think we have all of these announcements that are thematically bullish, but not necessarily like immediate term liquidity catalysts.
Yeah.
So it's like the boat slowly turning, but everybody's positioned as if it's already like straight on. So I think that's where we are at the moment.
That's a good point, which I very much agree with. I mean, lots of people forget that, you can have very profitable stocks who've been profitable for the past 10 years and still will be for the next 10 years. And they still go through, minus 40% drawdowns when the situation is like that. So,
well, that's what Amazon did, right? I mean, it was trading at way higher prices than it should have, and crashed all the way back down. It's just the whole idea of reflexivity at the end of the day. Even though Amazon was a profitable company during the echo bubble for tech, it wasn't reflected in price until, obviously much later on, but the fundamentals were still there. And over time, the fundamental value of an asset is typically going to win out. The price swings are always going to be based on sentiment. You can argue that's bullish or bearish for some coins, though.
I think if we ever come back to this level, that's a big buy.
I remember when I was buying
Is that
books.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
We
are actually. I don't even know why I'm in. Why are we even trading crypto when you've got things that look like that?
No idea.
Costco, brother.
Costco,
Yeah.
No, I was.
Isn't Monster Energy drink the one that's like absolutely
No way.
turbo up only forever? I'm pretty sure it's the best performing stock of all time. I'm pretty sure that's right.
How is that that company Will's Outlook would always talk about? Elf.
Oh, Elf.
Elf.
Type in Elf jackets.
Is
Some
it like
makeup company?
Yeah. First one. Oh.
Oh wow.
Oh.
We've totally forgot about this one, and while we forgot about it, it topped.
Yeah.
Well, that could be a good buy here. Minus 63% correction.
Put the Monster Energy chart on. Go and do it. Monster Energy. I think it's. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember the ticker though.
Wait, you want me to put Monster Energy?
Yeah, Monster Energy. I don't know. There it is, Monster.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's still up, but I
This
remember
one.
it. Really,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Celsius stock is literally just down only.
Really?
I think so.
Well, it's actually gone down a bit for the first time ever. That's a shame. It's the best. I'm pretty sure it's the best performing stock of all time. I'm pretty sure that's right. Look at that. Look at that.
Jesus.
What the hell?
If I had a time machine, well, actually, I wasn't born back then, so okay. I was going to say, what was I doing in 1986? Well, I wasn't actually born, so.
Well, I
Never mind.
I'd recreate Google.
You wouldn't be able to. You're not.
And then I would. Name a band after myself. It's a hot tub time
machine.
Great movie. I love that movie so
We're
much.
gonna have to watch the second one of Denver Boys. I hope you know that.
I've heard the second one isn't as good, but
Of course it's not as good. Not when has the second ever been better than the original?
Paddington 2.
Did they ever make
Paddington is unironically a better trilogy than Lord of the Rings. I'll stand by that.
Dude.
Did you say Paddington?
Paddington is a better trilogy than Lord of the Rings, yes.
Oh boy, I'm getting heated. You better take that back.
It's true. Yeah, and Terminator 2. That's true. Terminator 2 is way better than Terminator 1.
Wait, look at Chim's name on here.
Yeah,
Bull
I was
market victim.
Victim. What about Hangover Part 2 was solid. Not
Hangover
better
Part
than the
2 was
original
good.
though. Not
I
better.
actually
Than,
enjoyed the
Empire-
second Hangover more than the first.
Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. That's the second film.
let me
That was
think.
better than the first one. So you were wrong, by the way, Tucker. That's all I want to say.
Okay. Maybe the second is goated, and anything after that is downhill. How about that?
Yeah. The third
Yeah.
one's never good.
The
third
third,
one's never
fourth, fifth. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Like,
good. Yeah.
Why
I
it
don't
feels
even
the
know what
same.
the
oh my god,
the movies is in Pirates of the Caribbean.
that picture.
Arthur Hayes, bro.
Who is the guy? Is it just a random guy?
Oh, the old grandpa?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just random guy looking at the picture. I do not know. It's an old timer. I just love it. And especially like back in the day when we used to get these, right? I think this is the, hold me correct, but I think
that's a
this
great one.
one. I think
This
this
is a
one
great one.
is literally from I might be wrong though, but I think it's literally. Jesus, I cannot go that back. Wait, why?
I think it's just the.
I think it's right here. I think it's right this candle.
You think what is there?
That picture.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had to make sure you weren't talking about one of our coins.
Except this week, I would have to go. Let me go for XBT because back in the day, man, it was the ticker, man. Like lots of people do not remember the order submission error. The worst thing. You had a drop like this, and you were trying to get out, but the exchange wouldn't let you, and the price would be 10% lower. You would be liquidated. That's why it has Arthur there, laughing. It's just so funny.
I know a sequel that was better than the first one. Luna 2.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh no.
That was low hanging fruit.
That was.
Maybe it's not the one, but Luna. Oh my god. You said Costco.
Costco's the juggernaut of the stock
Oh,
market.
The
Yeah.
European mind cannot comprehend.
We've
I
got
can't
Costco's.
comprehend
We've
this
got
stuff,
Costco's.
You go
I love
Costco?
Yeah, I go
You
to
guys
Costco
have
regularly. It's
croissants and
great.
tea, bro. You don't have Costco, bro.
We've
don't
got so
understand.
many Costco's, bro. I've been
Nah,
going since
you
I was
don't.
a
Nah.
wee child.
I
wee
guarantee your
child.
Costco doesn't look like our Costco. I've never been
It
to
looks
it, but
exactly like yours.
you definitely
do you
are.
know-
It's not even legal to sell the food that we consume in Costco. in Europe.
That's true.
You wouldn't understand Red 40 if you saw it. You wouldn't get it.
I don't even know what that is, but
Red Ford,
Yeah.
you wouldn't get it.
Do you know with what Costco rhymes? With
Yeah.
Cisco.
no, I know what you're about to say. Don't do it. Don't do it, Jenkins.
Cisco.
No, let's not do that.
Dude, if that happens to Costco,
It's over.
there's
Are you
no
a
reason
buyer?
for Costco to go down, man. Costco is the juggernaut.
I think we can put last year's Costco performance.
Last
down.
year's.
The Costco guys were the ones that brought the stock up a bit more. Free advertising. Double chunk chocolate cookies. Boom.
Chimp, have you ever studied the chicken bake, brother?
He wouldn't
Bro,
get it.
we've got a Costco. We
You
have a
wouldn't understand,
Costco.
bro.
I don't know
Go.
why you're surprised.
Dude. You wouldn't get
Chimp,
it.
are
It's
you a
fine.
student of $1.50 hot dogs?
Yeah, we've got them. Well, not dollars. Like, I think it's £1 something. I don't know how much. It's a quid. Might be like a quid. £1.29, I think.
Sorry, I don't speak Brit.
Chimp, have you ever even seen a bald eagle in person?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I'll be honest.
You haven't experienced freedom, then, brother.
No. I
No.
haven't. No. I've shot a gun though. I shot a gun in Vietnam. So
In Vietnam.
yeah, I shot an AK in Vietnam.
Wow.
Not
you
at
know-
anything.
Do
Did
you
you
know?
accidentally, leave Vietnam and go to Laos?
Oh my god.
Mm-mm. Nobody gets that reference, but my background does.
Is that from that? I don't even remember that line. Chimp equals unk status.
Guys, go as long as you want. I got a call I got to hop on. So I got to
All
do
right,
it. See ya.
See ya.
Monks.
Why am I unk? Where's that unk thing come from? Where's that come from?
He said you
Monks-
shot a gun in Nam.
Oh,
literally-
right. Okay. Right. I'm with you. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god. The
What is
American-
Red 40? What is Red 40?
Look it up, champ.
What?
You wouldn't get it.
Oh, what food coloring?
Yeah,
it's banned in
illegal
the
where
UK.
you live. Yeah.
It's banned in the UK.
Healthiest American food. Banned in the UK.
It is. It's banned in the UK.
You
can't-
wouldn't get it.
You can't post about the government or Red 40 in the UK, otherwise you get hauled off to prison.
Yeah, 'cause
Chimp.
you need to not draw that. You need to delete that immediately.
BTC at 2 million. He's still fighting for K.
Do you think Solana flips ETH? Well, actually, I know Tommy doesn't, but what do the other guys think?
Do I think Soul flips ETH? No.
Okay.
No.
No.
I have to be honest. When I go to an ETH or an EVM chain or an ETH, chain, basically, it is such a horrible experience compared to Solana. Solana just feels so quick and smooth, and Phantom's great. And then you go to ETH and it's like approve, takes 5 seconds, clunky thing comes up again. But it's just so slow. Honestly, I can see why the Zoomers have all gone to Solana and not ETH.
Mhm.
So do you think Vitalik is going to do something about it, or he will keep on, shilling Miladies and stuff?
I think ETH just needs. I think all Vitalik needs to do is. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it. I won't say it. Don't worry. I was going to say it was in reference to the picture he took, I think, in 2022 with that girl. Where he had
yeah, that's what I was saying recently as well.
Yeah. Honestly, Vitalik meet reveal, and we go to all-time highs next week. That's what we're going to say.
Jesus Christ.
The real Flash was never the Flash crash.
Nice. God, you're on fire today. You're on fire today.
Web3 comedy.
Web3 comedy. Yeah, you're hitting it out of the park.
Oh god.
Right, guys.
I think that's a good spot to wrap it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh god. Hopefully our yapping cheered you guys up a little bit. And if you enjoyed the show, if you enjoyed the yap, you can get more of the yap. If you enjoyed the alpha, which was more so probably towards the first half, 2/3 of the show. If you heard anything today that you liked, come join the family, guys, at Because Bitcoin. We have a few different ways that you can do that, starting with our premium Discord. Come hear from the entire team how we're analyzing markets as things are currently going down. Obviously, things changed very quickly over the weekend, but we were prepared and, of course, did everything that we could, to let everybody else in the Discord know kind of how we were feeling about the market shift as far as sentiment and price. So make sure to check out the Discord, guys. You also get about 4 or 5 hours of daily calls on weekdays whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open. Of course, we bundled this together with your go-to tool for this cycle, guys, which is the BB terminal. Whether or not you are an active trader on lower time frames, a long-term investor looking to make educated decisions based on data, And of course, soon, whether or not you are an on-chain degen who loves to trade meme coins, loves to trade on Sol, love to trade AI agents, whatever it might be, we have the go-to.
So sorry, Tommy. So sorry. I got a lunch I got to get to in 30 minutes.
I feel like that's
It's
kind of
perfect.
symbolic of the market right now.
Dude, that scared the shit out of me, honestly.
But yeah, we've got the go-to tool for you. So check out the BB terminal. We were nice enough to package these things together so you get both at discounted rates. Of course, whether or not you are looking to hone your educational base or even reach trading level mastery, we have the BB Academy as well. So come learn from the entire Because Bitcoin team and all of our diverse skill sets and styles. Lastly, if you maybe you've been struggling handling this downside volatility, maybe picking winners has been difficult over these last few months. I mean, let's be honest, both have been difficult at times. You do have the option to allow the team to manage money for you guys, assuming you qualify. So check out BB Wealth Management. That is an SEC registered hedge fund that trades digital assets in a way that looks to capture their asymmetric history for upside returns while also balancing the downside risks posed in any financial markets. So if you heard anything in the last 90 seconds that interests you, check out the description below. We've got everything linked down in there. But we hope you enjoyed Market Check today. We will be back for another episode tomorrow to wrap up the week. A reminder that we are live every weekday. The New York Stock Exchange is open Monday through Friday. Typical start time around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. Wabi does not have a space today, but he is live every other weekday, generally for Market Talk. So make sure to check his show as well through the Because Bitcoin X account. But that's it from us, guys. We hope that you enjoyed the show. We'll be back tomorrow to close out the week, like I said. But until then, thank you again, as always, and stay safe.